Thank you very much. Uh, my name is Peter Knoll, and I also would like to thank the organizers and Brian. Many thanks for giving me the opportunity to give this talk here. And I think we all enjoy this wonderful location and this wonderful opportunity to be with each other and to discuss the open issues what we have. I joined the IAEA 4 years ago. And before I was working in a clinical hospital in Vienna. And of course, when you work more than 30 years in a hospital, you must have very good reasons why you want to leave this position where you're totally accepted and to move to a novel position. And I was asking myself, okay, what you want to do there, what you want to achieve, what goals you want to reach. And the reason why, basically why I left my position in the hospital was I wanted to improve the knowledge in for radiopharmaceutical therapies and also, of course, for quantitative imaging. And as you know, the IAEA is located in Vienna, and it's this complex what you see over here, and it's the world's central intergovernmental forum for scientific and cooperation in the nuclear field. And this is the structure what we have. We have 6 departments: nuclear energy, safeguards, nuclear safety and security, nuclear sciences and application, technical cooperation and management. We are approximately 3,000 people who are working there, and we try to very hard really to improve the situation of the member states. And I'm sure that at least you know the icons of the slides what I'm showing here. These are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And these goals are a call for action to the international community to improve the life of all humans and also to improve the situation of the planet. Basically, our goal, what we are working here as a dosimetry and medical radiation physics section, is the goal number 3, which is good health and well-being. And we hope to improve the situation in the member states on medical radiation physics. So how this is going to be done? Our division, the Human Health Division, belongs to the Department of Nuclear Sciences and Applications. And we are built like a small hospital. So we have medical doctors, which are located in nuclear medicine and diagnostic imaging section. We have the applied radiation biology and radiotherapy section. These are medical doctors. And we do have then the medical physicists, who are, of course, in the dosimetry and medical radiation physics section. So we have specialists in physics for radiation therapy, for diagnostic radiology, and nuclear medicine. And we work very hard really to achieve these goals and to help the member states. I always like to show this picture because it should show you that we are not working in silos. We have each of the professions, what we also have here in this audience here, we have a very different professions. We might have different views on different subjects, but I think all these views are important that we can really improve the solution, what should come out of this process. And I mentioned also that our section belongs, and to our section also we have, of course, other professions, so the medical doctors, NMDI for nuclear medicine, and I'm very happy that I really work very close with them. And I think they also appreciate the work, what the medical physicists are doing. Because when we look at the situation, what we have nowadays, we go into, I mean, we already have in many places hybrid imaging. We have radiopharmaceutical therapies. We have quantitative imaging. In all these fields, the role of medical physics is extremely important. But of course, it's also important that we have a good communication with them. And so I'm very happy to be with them. I just want to go to a few publications, which in my opinion are extremely important. You already have seen by one of the speakers before me, the IAEA publications. So we do a lot of publications, a lot of our efforts go into publishing very high quality guidelines. But of course, this work cannot be done by the IAEA. So we really depend on the experts who are doing really a tremendous job to generate these high quality publications. So one of these publications is the publication Human Health Series number 25 about the roles and responsibilities and education and training requirements for clinical qualified medical physicists. And in this slide, you see basically an overview what will be mentioned in this book. And you see it starts from the installation, from the procurement, optimization, goes till the optimization, quality control, and so on. And I just wanted to highlight that it is extremely important to have a medical physicist involvement already in the planning of this novel equipment. All the issues, what I see in many installations all over the world, comes from the fact that there is no medical physics component in this specific project. I give you an example. I was recently in one of the member states, and they are going to be procured a new gamma camera. And when I asked them, so where are you going to install this camera? And there was not a clear answer to get from the member states. So what we have been doing from the IAEA, we realized that there is a need to bring additional expertise to this institution. So we send an expert to this location to help the colleagues to really optimize their installation and procurement of this equipment. So in this way, we are trying to help. We are also, of course, working on quality control manuals to improve and to optimize quality control measurements. I'm sure that you know that this for imaging, we have these great publications for nuclear medicine physics and diagnostic radiology physics. There is also a publication, of course, for radiation therapy physics. And I also wanted to highlight all our publications are freely available. So they are very high quality, and you can download it in PDF format. One of the publications what I used also when during my clinical work was this publication regarding the staffing. We call it staffing level algorithm. So what is it, this publication about? Basically, it's an objective way to determine the number of physicists what you would need in a medical imaging department. And you see the experts who has been working very hard on this publication. And that is not something this is not something what is just a publication. We always use this publication or refer to this publication. Together with my colleague Virginia Zapaki, who is working in the African region for diagnostic radiology, we performed this survey for whole Africa. So we have been, we made this survey on 82 institutions in 21 countries with 97 diagnostic radiology departments and 40 nuclear medicine departments and 75 interventional radiology departments. And what we have found is that the number of medical physicists in this region is short by a factor of 20. We also published these results in a peer-reviewed journal, of course. And so there is a big lack of medical physicists in the country. We also have a big problems regarding the legislative recognition of medical physicists. So how we try to overcome this? When I go to a duty travel to one of the member states, I always have a meeting with the regulatory body and WHO to raise awareness that medical physicists are basically needed. What is also, of course, important that we, let's say, when we speak about radiopharmaceutical therapies, it's important, of course, that a medical physicist is there on site. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to properly perform this kind of treatment. So this is one of the prerequisites what the member states have to fulfill. So how we can improve a bit the situation? Virginia and me, we initiated the first clinical training program in imaging in 2021 for the African region. So we initiated 19 long-term group fellowships for clinical training in imaging physics. So we had centers in Algeria, Egypt, and Ghana who were ready to take the fellows, and for half a year training, the colleagues have been there to get the clinical training. But when we speak about human resources, it's not only about medical physicists. Basically, we have a similar problem for physicians in diagnostic radiology or nuclear medicine, and also we have it for radiopharmacists. We also have a very inhomogeneous distribution of medical equipment throughout the whole world, and of course, this is something what we all should be working on, or what we are working at the IAEA on this. So a few years ago, the Director General initiated the Rays of Hope initiative, which should bring cancer care for all to the whole world. We also try to, within this initiative, we try to initiate anchor centers, and the anchor centers, which are in different regions of the world, should help us in the training and education of medical professionals. So, for example, the anchor center should participate on research projects. They should be able to host fellows to get training in the region. They should provide us also experts for IA training courses, and should be willing to serve as experts for our missions. And we had the first 5 anchor centers was introduced to the public in the 67th General Conference. And so we have now the centers in Algeria, Jordan, Morocco, Pakistan, and Turkey. So in January 2024, now we have applications of anchor centers for 20. Already approved the anchor centers are 8, and the certificate was given to 5 of them. But we are working on this, that we really can train the colleagues on site within the region. Obviously, when we are speaking about quantification, quantitative data sets, we also need to have some guideline. And one of our colleagues who I think initiated this 2014. Stig is in the audience, and also my colleague Gianluca Poli, who was before me in this position, who did an excellent job to to make this publication possible. So we need to have quantitative data, and how we are going to use it now, or what are the programs the IAEA could have. So we have CRPs, these are coordinated research projects. And as I mentioned, when I came to the IAEA, one of my goals was to really improve radiopharmaceutical therapies and to show internal dosimetry. And I was very happy when I came there that one of the programs which was already initiated and started by my colleague Gianluca was exactly on this. So in this project, we had colleagues from 7 member states. And we all have been working together to see what are the challenges, what, for example, on image reconstruction, how the influence of the reconstruction parameters can change the output, about segmentation, and so on. So what we also had, and which was a great advantage, is that we had a commercial partner who provided us with a laptop with the same processing software. And we all have been working on one patient data set. And it was interesting to see that this was a project usually for 3 years, but due to COVID, it was extended for a 4th year. And it was interesting to see that after this 1 week, when we have been sitting together, all working together with the same software on the same patient data set, that we still have got a huge amount of discrepancies. So especially in the tumors, we had the discrepancies up to 50%. So this is, of course, something what we have to do about this. And here we published these results recently in the GNM paper. So what was the outcome of this CRP? First, we had a joint IAEA BIPM seminar, 2022. We did a number of publications, and what was interesting and I think was fantastic is that Indonesia was during this CRP performed the first lutetium study therapy in the country. But of course, we want to continue this successful project, and we recently had a CRP, a consultancy meeting to develop a new research program to go a bit further, and we had 1 week discussion how we really can do it, and to really to improve the situation especially in training and analyzing the data in a better way. And I was also very happy that my colleague Gianluca did a tremendous job to start to write with the colleagues, which you see on the right side, an extraordinary book. It's called Dosimetry for Radiopharmaceutical Therapy. And it took us quite some time to get it to this stage. So before I left, I got the last version in PDF to review. And I hope that in 1 week I can finish this. So I think Brian was also doing a great job on this publication. And I think we all will be very happy when this will be published. And I can tell you it's an amazing book. We also, of course, and we also saw it in the speakers' lectures here, of course, we also understand that we have to do something about artificial intelligence. I think the application of artificial intelligence is for medical physicists can be really a game changer. and why I believe in this. When we speak about AI, of course, we need to speak about data sets, what are going to be used for training. Obviously, these data sets have to be from good quality. So the better the quality, the better the algorithm will work later. So who ensures now that the quality of this data is as good as possible? The medical physicist. So the medical physicist plays a crucial role for artificial intelligence application in medicine. So we are going to provide some education and training on this topic, and we already have a publication which could guide you what topics should be learned for medical physicists. I also believe that especially for people who, or let's colleagues who are into software development, into image analysis, AI can play a dramatic improvement. When we speak about the GitHub Copilot, for example, how these tools can help us to develop prototypes faster, to write better codes, to optimize coding. I think this is a dramatic improvement. And you see here that this is one of the publications which were published recently in JNM, and which showed you that each of the components for radiopharmaceutical therapy, where AI can help really to improve the analysis. And I think you're quite aware of the 3D slicer program, which is also freely available. And recently, the colleagues, they published a fully automatic segmentation of this slide. So I think these tools really can not only improve the medical physics situation, but also improve the diagnosis of the patient. I already said that I have a very good cooperation with the nuclear medicine physicians. And this is a coordinated research project which was started by them. It's about amyloidosis scans. And I don't want to go too much into detail about the clinics, but you see here the participating countries from Argentina, Australia, US, Uruguay, and so on. So a number of really great colleagues are working with us together. So what is the medical physics component, or how can this be done? And I was working very closely with Michael Ljungberg from Sweden, Lionel Torres from Cuba, and we tried really to have an impact for medical physics into this project. So we have, for example, we have here this cardiac insert for the JSAC phantom, and we wanted to use this phantom to optimize the acquisition and processing parameters to get quantitative images. So the first question, of course, is how to fill the phantom with which concentration. So what we did is from a few of our partners, we got some clinical raw data sets, and Michael Ljungberg wrote an excellent program which is called Monte Carlo reconstruction. With this it's using a Monte Carlo simulation to perform a quantitative reconstruction without doing the measurements which are usually has to be done. So this is, of course, a very time-consuming procedure, but we did this with five patients, and then we could have the concentration in kilobecquerel per milliliter, how we can fill this phantom. So we filled this phantom, performed the acquisition, and started then to reconstruct. using different reconstruction parameters. So we changed the number of iterations and the number of subsets and tried to find out the optimal reconstruction parameter using now this phantom, which is filled, or which is very close to patient conditions. This data, so when we have these ideal reconstruction parameters, we use we use them also to reconstruct the trunk of this JSOC phantom. Additionally, what the IAEA is doing is we do have the ICTP courses, what we are organizing. In 2021, I had the pleasure to organize this workshop on radiopharmaceutical therapies. And it was basically on the peak of COVID. And of course, I cannot bring from the whole world people to Italy to distribute this disease further. So we had the idea to do it. The first time was fully virtual. Obviously, it has some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages, in my opinion, is of course that we could really bring the experts for each field who is really the research topic. And what we did is, so we had all the experts, what we have been seeing. Rob Hobb was one of them, was one of the colleagues. For example, we showed the picture from the IAPM. So it was an amazing event, which not only gives us now of course, for the participants, a big knowledge, but also to have a more sustainability. I asked the experts for pre-recorded videos of their talks. So I have now, I think, 24 hours video material on this topic. And I know it has happened 21, but I still hope that I can really compile it into a course on radiopharmaceutical therapies. And I think we are going to get anyhow soon a new colleague who can work on this. And I would be very happy to see this material getting realized in a course. But you see, time flies, and I'm organizing already in 2024 will be the next course on quantitative imaging, also in Trieste. And what I think will be also an amazing course. I already have 150 applicants for the course for all over the world. And it's, I think, for the first time, what we also got is we got funds from not only from the medical physicists. So the IFOM is going to send an expert, and A&M is sending an expert. So I'm trying also to bring in the clinicians into this field, that they know that we really work very hard on these topics and really to improve also the medical diagnosis. Here is the abstract still open for March 2024. So if you're fast, please apply. It will be the IPAD conference will be held in Vienna. It will be on hybrid imaging. So when we are speaking about our programs, what we have is we do have the technical cooperation programs. So with these programs, we try to transfer the knowledge to the member states. We do have fellowships. So for example, when there is a need for training, we send colleagues to other centers to get the knowledge, what is needed to improve their work. We do have the expert missions that we do send colleagues, experts in the field, sent to the member states to give courses or to help them in specific topics. As I mentioned, we have training courses, so we have national training courses and regional training courses. For example, I had a talk recently in Asia. I had a course recently, a national training course in Asia on quality control for SPECT system. I have had last year a course also on quantitative imaging. So a lot of courses what we are going to organize, and obviously also a lot of courses, a lot of work what is done. And when you take a look at this slide, usually we react by requests from the member states, and you see that the funds for health and nutrition is approximately 25% of all these of the funds which are from the IAEA available goes into this direction. So it goes a lot of money into this field. This is also a slide from 21. So it shows the projects what we have in nuclear medicine and medical physics. So in total, it was 2021, it was 206 projects. What we are working on, you see from the local distribution for all over the world, it's of course it's very challenging, but it's also very beneficial, and it gives a lot of satisfaction when we really can do something. I'll give you an example. When yesterday, and it was really an excellent coincidence, I got when Brian gave you introduction here, I got a WhatsApp message, Peter, we made the first acquisition with our SPECT system. So it took us years really to implement this. But of course, when you get now such a message, of course, you're very happy, and that this really worked out, and I'm very glad about this. We spoke also about data. I believe that we all have to think a bit more about data. We speak about quality of data, and each of us means very different things about quality. What does this really mean? Yeah. I think we also need to have a database for medical imaging data. I mentioned that we had this CRP where we tried to improve radiopharmaceutical therapy. And as I mentioned that after this 4 years training, we had a huge discrepancy. So when you think of this, when we think about the clinical situation, what we have, let's say you procure a new equipment. So they make the installation, make the acceptance test, then the application specialist from the company is coming, he's sitting with you 1 week or 2 weeks there with you, you discuss all the programs, then after this you're alone. So when we realize now that after 1 year, we had such discrepancy in all the analysis, this is, I mean, it's not so easy to digest. So what we want to do is we want to have a database where we can collect data. And in my opinion, it should also not only collecting of the data, it's also necessary to have the analysis of these data sets. Let's say you can download the data to your processing workstation, you analyze it, you compare it, the results, what a number of experts got, and you can see if you get a similar result. I think it's also important that we can use this data to make better decisions. For example, what would be if we could use this data to optimize the use of the existing equipment? So we need to get a lot of data. We need to think a bit more. We will have very shortly a consultancy meeting where we invited a number of experts from all over the world, that they can help us to guide us what kind of data we really need to collect, and in what way should this be done. Obviously, there is also a legal aspect into this task, and this is also what we have to consider. But I really believe that medical physicist has a bright bright future. And it's important when we speak about artificial applications, and I believe that medical physics is very, very helpful and absolutely necessary. And with this, I would like to thank you and show you these very nice pictures from the IAEA. Thank you so much.